I don't know if you guys heard, but we got debates coming up between Joseph Robinette Biden and Donald John Trump. And I joke about this, about how these are going to be guaranteed hilarious debates. Just the entertainment of it is going to be fantastic. I mean,
we will be, TJ, will we be live streaming the debate?
Oh my God, yes, we've got to. Yeah, like it's early.
I figured we were, but I realized we never discussed it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Look, Lincoln Douglas, they are not, but it's still going to be pretty entertaining, I think. So I remember, let's see if I can pull this up here. All right, CNN will. So the first debate, I think, is on CNN, and I think the second one is on ABC, if I remember correctly. CNN will host the first forum on June 27th. And the second one is in September 10th. That is a long distance between those two debates. The announcement came after Biden laid out his terms for debating his Republican predecessor ahead of November's election. CNN said there will be no audience at June's debate in Atlanta, which will be moderated by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. It is scheduled unusually early for an election year. This is really true. Like, I've never seen a presidential debate happen in like the early summer or late spring. That is ridiculously early. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's running as an independent, accused the two major candidates of colluding to exclude him. So I wanted to get your thoughts about this, because Biden laid out a bunch of, demands for how the debate was going to be set up. And the first one was that he didn't want there to be an audience. That was one of them. And another one is that he wanted it between him and Trump without RFK. So I wanted to ask what you thought about those two stipulations.
Those two stipulations I don't particularly care about.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, pro-democracy. If you have a third-party candidate who has a certain polling number, sure, they should be allowed to come in. But come on, we're wasting our time. Every second that RFK is talking on that stage is a waste of time, because he's not going to win the election. So who gives a shit? Like, I don't mind that in practice. Specific instance. Philosophically, I'm opposed to it, but I don't think it actually fucking matters. So I'm not going to get too worried about it. And the no audience thing, I don't know why that is. I don't even have real speculation as to why that is. But sure. If they both
sure.
I don't see how it affects anything, really. You know what I mean?
So the no audience thing, I think they may mention it in this article here of why he wanted no audience. But so I personally fucking hate the presidential debates, the primary debates, because honestly, debates themselves I find to be of questionable value in the first place, like the public debates like this, because it's all about spectacle. It's all about how good of an entertainer you are, how well you can turn. In fact, I noticed this actually when I was in college, whenever they were doing the debates. Every time I watched a news story about the presidential debates, they always said the same thing. They always said, all right, we're looking forward to see what zingers we can. They would always say, we are looking for the zingers. They're going to wait. They're looking for the, what was it? I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. You, sir, are no Jack Kennedy. They're waiting for that line. It's like, all right, who gives a fuck? You're waiting for someone to say something funny, to make the audience laugh, to embarrass the other person. It's not really about the policy at all. So I would rather one of two ways to do these debates. One is like what they're doing now, where you just talk to each other and there's no crowd. There's no, you can't, have ringers up there cheering for everything you say and interrupting the flow of the conversation. Mm-hmm. Or two, there's no debate at all. It's an interview. Like, someone sits down and goes over the policies with a candidate for 2 hours. You answer the questions, and then the other person does the same thing, and whatever, air them at different times so they can't study the other person. So I do like no audience, honestly, but I don't think it looks strong to say I don't want an audience. So I don't think it should come from the candidate. But I'm glad there's no audience, but I think it might look weak. As far as the RFK thing, fuck him. I don't care at all. I don't care at all.
He's got a worm in his brain, guys.
Did we even talk about that?
Did
we ever talk about the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had a parasitic worm eat part of his brain and die? Insanity, man. It's just like...
we didn't talk about it because what else? It's an Onion article in real life. It's
you know what? That's the same as like I literally thought it was just satire. I literally thought because
I thought I was like, oh, is this because it was like the first thing I saw was like a site that I didn't recognize. So I was like, oh, is this a new satire site? It's kind of funny, but kind of. Oh wait, no, it's real. That's
real.
Hilarious.
It's real. And so I was like, okay, hold on. Did he say this? And so I'm looking through. I was waiting for like find an article with him saying it. And I was like, okay, well, this is a report, but no, this is like from his divorce is where it came from, like the medical records in his divorce. And he was saying what happened is he was starting to get these bad headaches. And so Ted Kennedy, his uncle, died from a brain tumor. So he went to the doctor to see if he had his buzz. Like, hey, you should get that checked out. So his doctor
news is you don't have a brain tumor.
Well, so they at first they thought it was the doctors thought it was a brain tumor too. When they saw the X-rays, they thought it was a brain tumor. Then another doctor was like, nope. He's like, actually, nope, that's not what that is.
There is a worm eating your brain. So.
That's like I mean, it's and the
vaccines, that's what you gotta worry about.
It's just like he's the perfect person for this to happen to. Because like he used to be less weird. He's always been weird, but he used to be a lot less weird. It's like this makes a lot of sense. And of course,
former football player starts acting crazy, and you're like, oh yeah,
of course, yeah. and of course, this joke's like 2 weeks too late. Everyone's already made it, but he is continuing the proud Kennedy tradition of having a hole in your brain. So of course,
I didn't even hear that joke. You're right. It's an obvious joke, but I hadn't heard it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's right. Yeah, it's like he's done his family proud. Like he's finally joined the echelons of the legendary Kennedys with a hole in his brain. So yeah, but with RFK Jr., he's not going to be on the ballot in like a dozen states or so. There's no point in having him up there. I'm sorry, like there isn't. Let's go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Biden proposed 2 televised debates in June and September. His rival quickly accepted before suggesting they debate every month. See, Trump is thirsty for these debates. And I don't know if we talk about how Biden is trying to appeal to the youth. And I've never seen people who are worse at TikTok than politicians. They're so bad. Like they're worse than your average, like middle-aged person. They're just terrible. And Biden actually did a funny TikTok I saw today. What about the debates? And I don't know if you guys saw it, but he's looking at the camera and he says, I beat Donald Trump in 2 debates in 2020, and he hasn't debated anyone since then. I thought that was really good. I was like, oh, that's good. That's actually a good opening line.
This I didn't see this. This is a funny line right here that he's free on Wednesdays.
He's free on Wednesdays? Oh, yeah, he did say that too. That's
you have to give Biden is legitimately funny sometimes. Like,
yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's and like when Biden was young, like he got some good ones in, like his brain just can't keep up with them. And until they put him on that weird cocktail they do it for his speeches and debates, which they need to make available to all of us. Like, you know what? That's what we should do. We should like Biden, you will not get our votes until you release the formula.
You want to raise funds for your campaign? Start selling the drugs that you take before your speeches.
Let's see. We believe there should be more than 2 opportunities, Trump said, blah, blah, blah. Biden said Trump is free on Wednesdays. That's very funny. A reference to his criminal trial in New York, while Trump claimed his rival was the worst debater who can't put 2 sentences together. It bypasses the Presidential Debate Commission, which since 1988 has scheduled timing and already set dates and locations for the debates in autumn. I do like autumn. Autumn's a more fancy word than fall. I kind of dig that. Oh, right here. Candidates would take turns answering questions from an agreed upon moderator for a major news network, and a non-speaking candidate's microphone will be deactivated. That was one of Biden's demands that, listen, when it's your time to talk, your mic will be on. When it's the other person's time to talk, your mic will be off, which I kind of like that too.
I do too. I think that's certainly better.
That's reasonable. That's what's reasonable. And then Miss Dillon said raucous partisan crowds were not conducive to good debates, but Trump called for a large audience, saying it's more exciting with the crowd. They're both right. They're both right. They are
that is a good. They are both 100% correct.
They're both exactly. So yeah, like the crowds hooting and hollering and shit, it's a distraction. I don't even like the clapping at the State of the Union. I find it very annoying. Just like, let's get the speech over with. But Trump is right. It's more entertaining, but I don't care about the goddamn entertainment. Like, I don't. I at all. So
TJ, I have a bone to pick with something you said.
Oh, sure.
Because you said you don't like the debates. You don't find them
No.
particularly good. And I agree, like they could be way better and more informative, and a sit-down interview would definitely be more productive toward getting to know what the candidates' actual positions are. That being said, the problem with that is that no one would watch that interview. I would watch it, and I wouldn't even watch it. I would just read an article about it the next day, and I wouldn't waste my time watching it. Unless I was making content on it. Because well, what are they going to say? I don't already know. But the debates are genuinely the one time where the average American will pay attention and listen to the candidates talk about policy in any way, shape, or form. It's the one time where, like, I'll be sitting around the dinner table and your uncle who never talked politics is like, oh, you watched the debates last night? And like it does get people paying attention. And if the candidates used it properly, I think it could be much better. But even so, I do think is there another time where like policy actually gets discussed and by the average American? I don't think so. And so, yeah, is it far from perfect? Yeah, but it's better than anything else we got.
John, I hate to say this, but you're right. You're right. You're right, man. And this is, I just committed the same error that I was telling people earlier, that you can't view the Palestine situation through your eyes. You have to do it through the eyes of the average person. And you're so right. Because there was something, I don't know if it was in this article or not. I don't think it was this one, but I was reading something about how the people who were setting up this debate on Biden's team or Trump's team or something, I think it was Biden's team, said that this is going to be great for undecided voters. And I read that, I was like, who the fuck is undecided between? And I've had this thought
I hate undecided voters more than I hate like MAGA conservatives.
Right. Yeah, at least the MAGA conservatives have principles or at least goals. I mean, I first started, as I've gotten older, my rage for undecided voters, it backs up further and further, because at first started bothering me as a teenager, and I would see in October, and it's like, we're here with a group of undecided voters. Like, who is undecided in October? Like, how have you not made up your mind by now? And now I see this shit and I get mad about it in May. I was like, it's like you're
mad about it on November 18th that you haven't decided yet who you're going to vote for in the next
election. Yeah, it's right. I know, right? Yeah, it's just like I cannot, as hard as I try, I guess I could try harder, but I can't put myself in the mind of someone who's like, yeah, I mean, look, both sides make really great points, and I'm going to sit down for this here debate and wait till one of them wins me over. I mean, as a fucking child, I couldn't find myself in that position. But you're right. It's a lot of people. They don't pay attention to it. And then October comes along and the debate's here. Like, this is entertainment. Oh, I hate that you're right about this, man. Like, God, it's going to give me night.
I see the debates as like the one, and it is a pathway, the only pathway I feel like for a third party candidate is to get into the debates and absolutely crush them, because they
like Trump, basically.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean,
basically that's what Trump did.
Trump crushed the primary debates. Absolutely nailed them. I don't think he did. He crushed them against Hillary.
No, I meant the primary. Like, Trump was an outside guy until the debates.
Exactly. Because if you come in with your outsider bullshit and like just throw chaos in there to all of these prepared politicians who have these prepared statements, you're going to look likable. And if you say the real shit, and this is the thing that Trump obviously didn't do because he's just as much of a fucking crook as the rest of them. But like, if you just kind of go in there and like say the real shit, and like you can just beat them over the head with their circles that they're going to run in. Like, if you actually like had a practiced, rhetorical debater go in there, they could cut some hay. Like that it's the one viable pathway to just capture that lightning in the bottle. And that's why they don't want fucking RFK there. I mean, first of all, neither did the audio technicians that would have had to listen to it.
Yeah, true.
That's why they don't want RFK there, because like it gives a puncher's chance to knock one of them out, and like they don't want that chaos. They want it to and I understand that. And I'm not concerned about it in this time. But yeah, it would kind of piss me off if that happened in general. Like, it shouldn't be allowed to be. It should be run by the fucking government, the debates. It should be set up with the intention of just, and same thing with like ads. Like, I think political ads should like all have to be run by the government. Like, you can submit the things that you want to be highlighted, and that is what the political ad is. And that should be what the law is. And everyone would be happier because of it, and there'd be less political ads and less money wasted on this shit. I don't know why we do it. Like, there's these are just like small things that I feel like every American would agree with that like we just don't do for some reason.
Yeah, and political campaigns, like there should be public financing for the shit. Like if you get a certain number of people that sign a petition for you, you're put up by a party. You don't have to put a limit on it. Like you can't have 90 parties being funded with campaigns and shit. But I don't know.
If you get like 100,000 signatures, something like that. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, and it would take out private interest to your campaign too. Mm-hmm. It would cut out a whole lot of that. And this is when you were talking about how the debates are like the one opportunity that a small time unknown candidate can come in, like Bernie Sanders essentially did the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can do it in your speeches, but the debates are really where it shines because debates are they're fucking entertainment. That's what this bothers me too, is that we treat them like they're like this classic exercise in oration and in logic. No, they are not. They are there to highlight the person who is the best demagogue. And you and I, as people who are very good at talking, can see right through it. Like, because it's no problem. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be well read. All you have to do is be entertaining, get a zinger here and there, distract the audience, which I guess politicians do anyway. But if you're really good at it, you can just bullshit your way through. And once again, I'm describing Trump to a T. I'm describing Trump exactly. You can just spout off bullshit. And if you're entertaining enough, the people will want to see you more, even if they don't agree with you. It's kind of like on reality TV shows where the most obnoxious person on the show keeps being voted back. Is because they get the eyeballs. Like they know you want to hate watch them. And a lot of people like hate watching Trump. It's kind of like when they would put the camera on his empty podium. So like, this is why it bothers me, because I know it's true, but it is unfortunately one of the only ways that an unknown person can break through from the stranglehold that the Democrats and the Republicans have. So yeah. I have a hard time contemplating that because I know you're right, but it's annoying.
The last thing I wanted to say about the debates is that, and it ties right into what we were saying in our previous topic about Biden's poll denial. If you are behind, like traditionally, like just pure political strategy, if you're behind in the polls, you want debates.
Yes.
If you're ahead in the polls, you don't want debates. If you're ahead in the polls, you want to reduce variance. And so but Trump wants debates. That has nothing to do with political strategy. He just likes being in front of the camera. And he genuinely believes Biden is not going to be able to perform, which is, again, and I've said this many times, one of Trump's easiest pathways to the presidency is just Biden having a senior moment. And the more debates you have, the more chances there are for Biden to have a senior moment. And yeah, Trump should want them every single week. But Biden should also want them.
Yeah,
maybe not too many, because you want to make sure those drug cocktails are still working. But he should be wanting. It's very concerning because there's only two ways you can read that. Either A, his campaign truly believes the polls are a lie and truly is drinking the Kool-Aid, or B, his campaign doesn't want to risk him being in front of the camera that much, which is maybe a larger concern. They also are afraid of a senior moment happening. That's the only two explanations that there can be for why he wants less debates and doesn't want them as close to the election.
So did they say he's not going to do the later debates? Because I didn't know if these meant they weren't, because they usually don't take place this early. I don't know if that means he's...
So they don't take place this early. It doesn't seem like they'll do like the committee debates. Like, it seems like
really?
Saying fuck you to them, because also they would have to have RFK if he has more than 15% in the polls, automatically in the debates. And I think that's the real reason that they're.
Oh, they don't want RFK.
I genuinely think that's the biggest reason that they're not going through the committee.
That would make because.
But I think that the reason that Biden doesn't want them as close to the elections is he doesn't want to risk it. So he's playing like he's ahead and he's not.
So we brought this up yesterday. I don't know how afraid they really are of Biden having a senior moment in a debate, because it hasn't happened yet. In if you look back at Biden's debates and his like big speeches, they're fine. Like
he does well. Yeah,
he does. Yesterday we compared him to Eli Manning. Is that throughout the day-to-day life, who knows what Biden you're going to show up? You're going to have the guy talking about corn pop here and there and stuff, and like wandering.
If they actually believe that, why aren't they pushing for more debates?
Well, you mean Biden's team?
Yeah.
So, but why would you want to debate Trump every month? Like, so that's insane. Like, I wouldn't want to do that anyway.
TJ, I would want to debate Trump every goddamn week and bash him over the head with it.
No, maybe
I would destroy. Like, if you had a competent fucking human debating Donald Trump in the middle of his multiple criminal investigations, and literally, and I've said this a million times, you just walk over to Donald and go, "Hey, Donald, when you said you'd be dictator for a day, what did you mean by that?" And like, that's it. Just let him hang himself. And you don't have to do much. And Biden's team clearly doesn't think he can do that. And that's concerning to me. That's it reeks of cowardice to not want the debates. And every week is obviously, but like to have less than would have been expected when you are behind in the polls, it is such a weak move. And there's a reason for the weakness, and no reason is included.
Yeah, I think the crowd thing did display weakness. I do. Because that does play into Trump's strengths, is entertaining the crowd. Like, and that's at least better than Biden would. So I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm interested to see it. It will be less entertaining without the crowd, but man, with Trump and Biden there, like, who knows what the hell they're going to say? I can't wait for it. It's just going to be a good time. Let's see. What do we have here? I hope the Biden-Trump debates will have so many memes, so many good things come out of it. Yeah, we are guaranteed to get at least one good meme out of these two debates. They don't want to hear boos and cheers. Trump does. Yeah, Trump definitely does. Trump did a good one with Jeb Bush. I remember that he insulted Jeb Bush in a South Carolina debate, and everyone just started booing. And Trump's like, "Oh, I see you bought all the seats here." It was a great line. Like, it was a great line where he's like, "I see all your paid supporters."
Donald Trump destroyed Jeb Bush. Like, Jeb Bush was the heir apparent.
Yep.
And he just annihilated,
murdered him. It was all over from there. It was all like, you think it was, they would pick. It was funny because after he clowned Bush, they kept saying, well, maybe it'll be Ted Cruz. Maybe it'll be Mark Rubio. Listen, if he got rid of Jeb Bush, he's getting rid of the other guys. Trust me.
Yeah, the other guys are just worse versions of
exactly. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It was funny to watch because, look, as awful as a person Jeb Bush was and everything, he was a standard, competent, normal ass person as a Republican, and you're like, okay, they don't want that anymore. That the Republicans are far
salted the earth of where Jeb Bush used to stand. He most of the time, like fucking Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, like they all ran again. Like Jeb Bush, he yeeted out of here. He's like, I'm done. I'm never doing this ever again.
Yeah. It is like, I remember kind of how shocked, because I think Jeb Bush realized how, like, quicker than most people, that the times have changed. And that was when, like, it's hard to believe, but back in 2015, Republicans were still kind of defending the Iraq war. Like, it's weird to think about, but they were still kind of like on the fence about it. And then Trump was like, or the war on terror, not necessarily the Iraq war, but the whole war on terror in general. And Jeb Bush made this speech saying how George W. Bush kept this country safe and everything. And Trump stepped up and says, no, he didn't. 9/11 happened in his watch. He got us into the Iraq war, which is a disaster. And the crowd erupted, which no one expected. Like, that was not what anyone was prepared for. So I think, and that's shortly before Jeb Bush dropped out. He's like, okay, I realize like this is a different Republican Party now, and it was just a sign of what was to come. Imagine Cornel West speaking about Palestine and Biden having to respond. It's like
I do. Cornel West would get obliterated. He would. I'm sorry. Like, Cornel West stands, like, he's not there either. Cornel West. A debate between Biden and Cornel West in the 1980s would have been fucking fire. I would have loved to watch that. But the debate between them now, it's like when you watch two fighters who are like in their 50s, who are like, we're putting on the gloves one last time.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to watch. Like, that's what that would go. They would just be talking right past each other. They would not acknowledge anything each other said.
I like you said, Cornel West is a man whose time has come and gone. You know, we respect all the work he did in the past and everything, but he isn't what he used to be. And I never much cared for. Okay, this is something. There's a guest I wanted to get on the show. His name was Riley, and he's a black communist, like a real communist, like a steel worker. So like he's
Okay.
like not one of these communists who sit around and like do boring shit all day.
Not
But
like you fucking Leah, you fucking doctor.
not like Leah, yeah, some med student or whatever. But his account got banned, of course, and so I have a hard time tracking him down now. But I had this thing I was talking to him about. Is like one thing I fucking hate. I hate preacher speak. I can't stand it. I cannot stand when people are like, and the Lord said you got to rise up with us. I was like, stop. You don't talk like that. Like that is when you go home to your wife and your family. Like this is a performance.
Still do that? I feel like that was huge, like in the fucking like 80s, you know. But
no,
does
so
that still happen?
This is what I'm talking about. Like Cornel West does preacher speak,
He
not
does
to
yeah,
that
you're
extent, but he does. And like another person does that. You know those two
The
state
Tennessee guy. The Tennessee
yes,
guy, yeah.
you already know what I'm talking about.
And he didn't used to. That's the damning part.
Right? They show I can't
I
remember
like
which
the guy,
one.
but come on, bro.
Yeah, like they showed like video of him in college, and he's not talking like, okay, it's a performance, and I can't stand it. And I do get that all public speech is a performance. Like if even the way I'm talking right now, it is. But listen, I try to make this as conversational as possible. Like if you met me in real life, this is like 90% of how I would talk.
Mm-hmm.
So when people like put on this act, and anyway, what I was getting with Cornel West is he does the preacher speak thing, and he always calls people brother. And I guess that's fine and all, but some people you shouldn't be calling brother. He got a donation from Harlan Crow, like a billionaire who like sends money to like Clarence Thomas and shit. And someone asked him about this. He's like, why did you take $2,600 from Harlan Crow? He goes, listen, brother Harlan Crow and I have. I was like, no, you can't call him brother. Fuck you. So yeah, Cornel West is once again, you can't make God.
He's your brother. I don't want to be your brother anymore.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to be related.
And it does kind of go to show that in a lot with politics, like you have to like bow to the money. You have to in order to stay alive. So yeah. I don't know. Oh my God. I just got hit with a nuke. Black communist like you, but an actual worker like you. Holy shit. What the fuck? I got nuked from orbit from Rachel Hyatt's kid.
You got no defense. You're just a poor Gazan child who can't defend themselves.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking landlord communist.
Oh my shit. God, that was wild. Like, what did I do to you, man? Like, have I fucked your mom? You know what? It's like, what did I do to deserve this? My God, we got I'm coming out. We don't even know your first name.
We're not calling you Mr. Hyde anymore. We're not calling you Rachel.
You're Rachel's kid from now on. That's what you're gonna be. Good shit. Good shit. Anything else you want to wrap it with, John? It's like 9 o'clock on the dot here.
That's a good thing to wrap it on. Thank you. Wait, we have to do our tag.
Oh, to end the episodes?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now. Like, I don't know what to do. It's just us. Like, this is weird. Like, you can find us. Look, I'm frozen. I look all goofy. Do I look frozen here?
That's true. Let's just do like a call out. Like, I'll just say, hey guys, wrap it. If you like this obviously like and subscribe. We do these live, by the way. So if you and I'll say that, that way some of our other, we might boost the live and then just like, I don't know, wrap it with whatever you want.
Cool.
No, you're Rachel's son. You're not.
No, yeah, I was gonna say. No, we don't get the respect, Ben.
You're Rachel's kid. Ben.
I'm not even sure I believe you, honestly. Now, I'm not gonna.
I'll call you Ben, but I don't know if you do that. Okay, let me do this. All right, guys, thank you very much. You have once again made it to the end of the show. And if this is your first time making it to the end of the show, thank you even more. You're excellent. You help feed the algorithm. Just like and subscribe to finish the deal. If you like what you saw here, remember that we do this live every Thursday from 6 to 8. Technically, right now, it's from 7 to 9. We might be changing that, but Thursdays, be here. Wednesdays, also from 6:30 to 7:30. We are live every single week. TJ, what do you have to end this with?
Look, guys, we appreciate you watching, all of you. It's been really great. Be sure to check out our other videos. Whichever one you watched, I highly recommend you check out the video we did talking about Joe Biden and Donald Trump's debate, because at the end, you'll find out why I had to check myself in the hospital getting third-degree burns from Rachel's kid. So check it out. We sure love to have you there. See you next time, folks. All right, guys, we're out of here. I had the Ben Socialist. Ben the Socialist Jew? Is that you? That rhymed. I didn't mean to do that. I got to find out, because I know that account, Ben the Socialist Jew. That might be who this guy is, because I saw a lot of comments from him.
He did say he was Jewish. So
this has got to be him. Yeah, oh, my God. Well, I kind of like him.
Never mind. You're back in the friend zone.
You're back in my good graces. Yeah, we're all good now. We're all good.
You're welcome to the treehouse again. Ben.
It's all good. All right. Later, folks.
Bye.
Oh.